Hey guys, and welcome back to Danganronpa Lapse, and we're now in Chapter 1. Undeterred by the horrifying announcement, Lau left the atrium in an almost giddy manner. A smirk painted his face in stark contrast to our own astonished expressions. So, we're stuck in this weird luxury mansion for 7 days, huh? What's 7 days anyway? It shouldn't be too hard to not kill anyone during this time, right? We made it this far. Art chuckled nervously, but the fact that such an inexplicable requirement like that existed in the first place was difficult to come to terms with. One very simple rule: kill a fellow student without getting caught. What kind of awful rule is that? Please don't joke about the matter. Don't lose your head so hastily. I noticed the announcement rules didn't outright state that we necessarily needed to kill anyone to begin with. Perhaps Lyle is onto something regarding the ARG angle. Besides, the risk isn't nearly pressing enough to encourage such drastic action. Despite the loophole Missy mentioned, the pressure of a killing game being presented loomed over us, crushing whatever sense of comfort we initially had. There's no use for us to be glaring at each other in silence. We ought to continue the mansion investigation. Missy shook off the terrible feeling and went on her way to search once more. Investigate? How could you do such a thing after something so scary just happened? Being able to stay composed at times like this, Missy isn't easily shaken, huh? Which is nothing to say about Lyle, who is excited. With nothing left to do, we departed from the atrium. But the voice continued to haunt me as I left the room behind. What the heck? The awful cackle rang in my ear, filling me with dread. Upon leaving the atrium, the others dissolved into their own disoriented thoughts. With the foyer door bearing any chance of exit, all we could do was wait. All we could do was wait for tomorrow, when in tomorrow the real fun would begin. This so-called game with an odd emphasis on ultimate students. What horrible thing could possibly be in store for us? I felt like I was being suffocated by the decorated walls and furniture, the decorated students and their achievements. What had I gotten myself into? I followed close to Ashley as I drifted away from the atrium, dragging my feet through the hallways. Echo, are you okay? I don't know. Some announcement, huh? Yeah, I'm still reeling from being surrounded by students with super talents. Right. Well, honestly, I'm just really worried about you. Me? Yeah, the whole killing game seems to center around the ultimate title stuff, so I hope you're not dragged into it. Echo, you don't need to worry about me. I'm a lot tougher than you think. I've fallen with my host many times and I can count, but I can just get up and get back in my saddle. I can't help it. It might be a fluke or some kind of cruel joke, but what if it's not? Sorry, I know there's no use making myself sick with worry. Don't fret about it. It makes sense. This strange situation will make anyone nervous, but look, I'm not going anywhere. If anything happens to me, I'm not going down without a fight. And you're my best friend. I don't think being friends with a little warrior is any trouble at all. Ashley tried to reassure me multiple times that she wasn't going to get wrapped up in this absurd killing game, but despite her stubbornness, my heart sank further and further into darkness. Knowing such a game was thrusted upon us in the first place was too awful to bear. I didn't want Ashley to reassure me that she wasn't going to die. I wanted to hear that the killing game wasn't real at all. Ash, would you mind if I had some time alone? I'm still feeling overwhelmed. Oh, of course, I understand. In that case, I'll take some time to explore the mansion a little more. I'll always be around if you need anything. Take care, Echo. Ashley departed for the study and I went back to my personal room. I woke up in an unknown room with nothing in my possession, and in a panic threw the door open to find my best friend, Ashley Westbridge, the ultimate. Ashley Westbridge, the ultimate. Oh, that's what was the equestrian or jockey? It was equestrian, right? Equestrian? Ultimate equestrian? Wait, that doesn't sound right. Whoops. You remember it? Is there a difference between an equestrian and a jockey? They're both horse riders, right? That's right. She's the ultimate jockey. Supposedly won 84% of her races, whatever that meant. Regardless, she neglected to tell me of such a thing during our friendship. I mean, was it really your business? Ashley and I teamed up to explore what we discovered to be a mansion. After meeting a handful of students, we discovered 9 out of 10 of them had something called an ultimate talent. There is someone who doesn't have one. Who doesn't have an ultimate talent? That is you, Echo Pine. That's right. Within that group, I discovered I was the only one without some sort of ultimate talent. I wanted to speculate that perhaps I had no memory of such a thing, but in all honesty, I wasn't even able to list any interesting memories pertaining to an ultimate talent. I was in a state of disarray. After being overwhelmed by the immense talent everyone had encompassed, I felt an urge to escape. I ran to the foyer's main doors and was electrocuted. Shown the right way. That's right. Upon grabbing the door handle, a shock was sent through me, causing me to pass out. I lost consciousness and woke up sometime later in the Forte's room. After the shock, the rest of the students became concerned. The group split up the next morning and searched the mansion for any signs of traps. In the middle of the search, we were summoned to the second floor atrium. There we heard some horrific news. The horrible news was part of some killing game. That's right. A strange announcement informed us that we were to be trapped here for 7 days, and the means to escape was to kill someone, not to mention that the real fun will begin tomorrow. It was all so strange, almost unreal. No, I just wished it were unreal. I just wanted to go home. I wanted to go back to the comfort of complacency and knowing my place. It's not real, it's not real, it's not real. Before I knew it, I had fallen asleep, lost in my thoughts. Chapter 1. What does that say? Je ne plus. I don't know how to say French anymore. I even took a class. I opened my eyes. The clock on my bedside table read 12. Oh, I must have dozed off a little. Why can't this weird situation just be a dream already? I started blinking around at my personal room. I guess I could take a walk to get my mind off things. I made my way to the foyer inside again. The grandiose foyer was empty, making me feel smaller against its elaborate decor. I dawdled around for a spell of what to do, and I heard a small conversation in the dining hall. Have a look at this. It was Pandora inside. I paused at the doorway. It seemed like they were in the middle of something. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, it's lovely. The engraving is just immaculate. My sister gave it to me ages ago. I was wondering if you like it? Huh? Why me? Were you wanting something in return? Nothing of the sort. I was thinking, as a watchmaker, you must have an rich eye for detail. I believe you can give this piece the care it needs. I don't know. It's a gift from your sister. Wouldn't you want to keep it? I'm afraid I can't quite put it to good use enough. I cherish it, but if someone else can appreciate it more than I, who am I to keep it away from her? Oh. I'll try to take care of it. Thank you. That seems suspicious. Even after a pressing situation made itself known, it seemed like Pandora still wanted to get along with everyone, even the most timid person in some way or another. I left them alone. Nah, that's suspicious to me. I stepped back into the center of the foyer. I wonder how everyone else is doing. Okay, so I'm right there in the study. And then spa lounge climbing center. Locations are unknown. I'll look for Cyrus. Hello, Echo. Have you come to relax for a bit in the spa? Feel free to join me. I settled in with Cyrus for a relaxing moment. Cyrus, what do you know about the preservation project? Oh, just about as much as any other student who signed up. It's a group that protects ultimate students from extreme natural disasters. To preserve humanity's future, It's presumed that that is their goal, as the name implies. Huh, that's as much as I know too. It would be unfortunate to lose people who would benefit the world, right? That makes sense. What do you think of all this? I sighed. The scenario we found ourselves in, it feels like the very opposite of saving ultimate students. It's terrible, building excitement and hopes of safety only to crush those feelings in a messed up game. I couldn't wrap my head around the idea. A more than reasonable observation, it's cruel, isn't it? But most of all, I was still confused as to why and how I found myself here. In that case, what do you think about the others? Huh? What about them? Well, our associates are all found their way here for some reason or another, isn't that right? No one will want to join a killing game voluntarily, that much is obvious, but say that the former were true, that they're joined to become part of humanity's future. Pandora seemed keen on the idea that our talents can induce worldly benefit and change. Do you think such a thing could happen? I suppose so. Why not? Cyrus chuckled faintly. Why not? How optimistic. Oh, yeah, I guess it might be a lot to hope for from the scenario we're in. No, it's good. It's good of you to maintain the spirit that anything is possible. Cyrus flashed a pleasant smile again before reclining back on the spa chair in silence. After a beat, I saw myself out as Cyrus continued to enjoy his time in the spa. Return. Oh, visit people. Art companion. Let's see here. Who should we go to next? Forte, Missy. Let's go to Forte. Forte is probably in the theater. Welcome to the stage, Echo. I was just admiring the selection of props backstage. Would you like to try some? I awkwardly tried on some hats and masks with Forte. This killing game. It can't be our reality, can it? Excuse me, just thinking out loud. That's okay. I was wondering the same thing. I mean, the preservation project. What am I saying? They can't be related. Surely the group would have been infiltrated and is pulling a horrible prank, though I can't say I enjoy the perpetrator's flavor of humor. What is the preservation project anyway? It's a group that provides safe housing for ultimate students, protecting them from extreme natural disasters. It had a reputation for taking in small groups of students at a time, since the news of it was passed along solely by word of mouth. Once enough students signed up, a number of them were let in. In our case, it seems the message got to the 10 of us. Word of mouth? Yes, a lot of ultimate students often flock together in small communities within their areas, since they're often outcast by the average people. I personally heard it when they acquired an ultimate radio host to help spread the message to my community. I can recall with clarity, his voice was so boisterous and engaging, not unlike that strange announcer. Despite that, it was a modest arrangement overall. There seems to be a constrained effort not to spread the word far and wide, which is strange considering the varying range of students and talents around the world. Wouldn't you think the group would extend its offer to more ultimates? I guess it does feel a little deliberate. Listen to me jawing away. Don't mind my pedantic thoughts, just trying to make sense of this is all. Forte quieted down as he continued to inspect the costumes backstage. Ultimate communities. I thanked Forte for spending time with me and left the theater. That all sounds very strange. Who should I visit? Missy next. I'll go talk to Missy. Can't sit still knowing there are questions to be answered. Would you like to join me in an investigation? I helped Missy search every corner of the foyer. No avail. That was a kind of heavy sigh. Are you okay? I'm not immune to the pressure of the situation we have found ourselves in. I must confess something, if you will allow me to think aloud a moment. I intended to join the preservation project as a part of their operating group. Once I heard about it, I thought my skills would prove useful. Really? What are you thinking about now? Since the group has been infiltrated, the group is known for bringing in many talents from around the world. For starters, I know the preservation project Safe House was a large building with many wings for each group of ultimate students. The groups are divided by the window of time students signed up. In our case, we all signed up within a relatively close time frame, creating a group of 10. The individual groups are often offered a class project to work on together, utilizing all the unique skills in their pool. These projects apparently have varying results, given the fact that each group may or may not be composed of incompatible talents. Regardless, the end products are usually very unique. Wow, that sounds interesting. Certainly, would have been an assuming and challenging experience to participate as well, but alas, other ultimate students, huh? Now let Missy continue investigating in peace. Alrighty, let's go busy Ashley. I wonder how Ash is doing. Hey Echo, I was just reading about this painter named Marcel Osterzone. Apparently people think very highly of their work. Would you like to see? I learned about a Renaissance painter thanks to Ashley. So, how are you feeling? I'm feeling a bit better. I took a walk to clear my head a little. Glad to hear it. The last thing I would want for you is to get all worked up. Ash, I'm curious. How did you hear about the preservation project? I heard about it by word of mouth. I have some Ultimate Talent colleagues that were talking about the preservation project, so I signed up for it along with my friend, the Ultimate Race Car Driver. Wow, jockey and race car driver. That's a pretty high stakes tag team. Well, you know how it goes. Then why is he not Ultimate Race Car Driver? Birds of a feather flock together? But I can't help but wonder whether or not he made it in. I'm sure he did. He's probably just in a different group. Maybe. It's just, last time I spoke with him, we got into a huge fight. Ashley didn't seem to want to talk anymore. Sorry if I brought up something painful. No, it's okay. Fights happen when people are close. In fact, it's just a fact of life, I suppose. We had our fair share of spats, but have usually worked through them. Remember when I dropped your mug? I still have that mug. You worked pretty hard to mend it together in that kintsugi fashion, although it's a little too awkward to drink out of. I knew it was your favorite, so I did my best. Thanks, Echo. I appreciate what you're trying to say. Don't worry about my silly fight. I'll get over it. I say goodbye and let her have some alone time. Alrighty. Can we not visit these two? Okay. Let's go to art. I wonder if art's okay. Echo, you want to see how high I can climb? Safety first though, of course. I watch Art struggle with the ropes and harness before giving up an idea of climbing together. So weird. What's on your mind? Game theme. The announcement said it was a game, but it's not a very fun premise, you know what I'm saying? A huge mansion or whatever, just for the 10 of us to play a killing game? Seems, I dunno, expensive? What do you mean? This place is huge. I would have thought maybe more people would be involved by the looks of it. Not that I wanted a lot of people to play a killing game. You see a lot of people, but are Ultimate students really so common? Yes and no? I'm familiar with Ashley's name only because I pay attention to the sport, but I know zilch about photography. I think you have to be in the right circles. And to put into perspective, there are billions of people on the planet. It only seems like a lot of Ultimate students in this moment since we're all gathered up. That's true. Well, at least you don't have to worry much about all this Ultimate Talent stuff. It's tiring sometimes. Heartfelt and usually silent for a spell. Anyways, doesn't look like I can figure out this climbing business. Catch you later. Art gave me a quick nod as he zipped out of the climbing center. Alright, we're done with Art. Lyle cannot. Let's go to Lyle. I wonder what Lyle's up to. No? I wandered the first and second hallways in search of Lyle, but failed to find him. Guess he's off solving the killing game puzzle. Better let him get to it. Now we have Kanan Ota. Let's see if Kanan's in any mood to talk. She's not here either. Where did it be? We looked up and down the halls looking to find Kanan anywhere. Guess she's in her personal room. Oh yeah, that's true. I made my way over to her listed personal room in the living quarters and knocked lightly. Kanan? There was no response on the other end. Either she was out being difficult to find, or she didn't want to be bothered. Whatever the case, I moved on. I think that's everyone. I learned a little bit more about this preservation project and how the others found their way to this place. Despite that, I was still left pondering my purpose here. After spending some time with my fellow classmates, I habitually wandered back to my personal room. But upon entering, I realized I didn't have any personal effects with which to pass the time, so I stepped right back out into the hallway to see if anyone wanted to socialize. Incidentally, I came across Sai and Kanan on their way in from the foyer in the halls. Hey Sai, Kanan, I was about to go to the dining hall. Did you want to come? We just left the dining hall. Oh, I see. You stood in silence for half a minute. This is awkward. Well, I, should go. Sai shuffled off, leaving me and Kanan to fill the empty air. She went right back out to the foyer to who knows where. Huh? Sai's personal room is right here. Maybe she wants to spend time in one of the activity rooms? Maybe. The conversation came to a stalemate. I'm just being cautious. Kanan turned and withdrew to her personal room. I let out a deep breath. I didn't know what I was holding in. Kanan tires me out. Yep, that is totally true. I made my way to the dining hall, running into Ashley along the way. We greeted each other in a rather unusual manner before sitting down with the other students who had already settled in for a meal. Ah, Echo and Ashley, feel free to join us. We were just starting. How have you been faring since this morning? I'm feeling much better now, thank you. Pleased to hear it. Lucy sat at the end of the table. Art and Cyrus sat across from each other, with Ashley sitting next to Cyrus. I shuffled in, sitting next to Art and across from Ashley. Yeah, what kind of class only has 5 students? One that has been disillusioned by a strange game, apparently. Yes, it's a little disheartening to see only half of the group gathered here. Well, it isn't strictly required that we all have dinner together. I saw Sai and Kanan in the passing. They must have had their share already and were on their way out already. Sai's a pretty shy girl, so I can understand perhaps she didn't want to be around a large group of people. And Kanan, she's awfully mysterious. Well, there's no use wondering about them. They can do whatever they please, so we shouldn't question their actions, even if they're suspicious. And for that matter, doesn't the killing game frighten any of you? I voiced the questions that have been ruling my thoughts. I mean, there's really no one capable of that sort of thing, is there? My question was met with silence. Echo, I understand that you might be afraid now, but it won't do you any good to worry. You're only going to run yourself ragged, thinking about the frightful possibilities. Yeah, Mrs. Right. It's just some dumb announcement out of nowhere, so what's the threat? Precisely. We shouldn't make ourselves sick with anxiety from something that hasn't evoked any consequences. Plus, if this were a killing game, why would they give us such a nice amenities? Why not just throw us in a creepy locked building? Wouldn't that pressure us further into killing each other to escape an unknown scaring building? I wonder. Regardless, we shouldn't dwell on the specifics of something so mysterious and harmless. Let's just enjoy each other's company and the fixings of this mansion to its fullest. Thank you for the encouraging words, Missy. Missy won't get shook up. She's the definition of keeping it cool. The atmosphere lightened up, we continued our dinner with lively chatter. I was thankful to have such positive energy surrounding me. After dinner, we all departed throughout the evening with our own activities. Ashley and I walked over to the living quarters to rest for the evening. But before we went to our respective rooms, Ashley pulled me over to the end of the living quarters hallway. Ash, what's up? Echo, I've been thinking and I don't know how to say this. This killing game, it really has me worried. An ultimate battle royale, just saying that is ridiculous. It has to be some kind of theme ARG or weird elaborate prank. I was kidding around, but Ashley remained still with a serious demeanor. Well, you're here, aren't you? How else would you explain your high school flag on your personal room door? Huh? Sure, it's a little strange, but that can mean anything. I was probably just mistaken for a different student at my high school. You know what I think it means? It means I was right. Echo, being involved with me only results in ultimate levels of trouble. This game that specifically recruited for ultimate students managed to gain a collateral student participant simply by association. Me. Ash, what are you saying? I don't want you to worry about me. Yes, I can't protect myself, but it's more than that. I remember that night, the night you dropped me off after we had dinner. You couldn't walk me to my house. I did in fact make it to the house in one piece, but when I looked back out on the street, I noticed something strange. I saw smoke. It was coming from the direction you dropped me off, so I assumed the worst. I wanted to run out there and see what had happened, but the only thing I remember was that there was a sharp pain and then black. Right, I must have been a target or something. Someone must have subdued and captured me, and at the same time, you as well. Whoever did this seemed they wanted to cover all their bases, which meant if you saw anything that night, you had to be taken also. I trembled at the thought. The problem was that I didn't see a thing that happened that night. Echo, I can protect myself, but I want you to keep your distance so whatever happens to me doesn't come to harm you as well. How could you say that? We're best friends. I can't abandon you at a time like this. I need you to let me alone. It's for your safety. It hurts me to even think about it, but I don't want you to be in danger because of your relation to me as your close friend. I couldn't believe what's happening. Ashley's face was painted with remorse. She only wanted to keep me safe, but in return it meant we needed to be apart. Ashley gave me one last hug before retiring to her room for the night. Ashley. I hung my head in despair. Why did this have to happen? I clenched my fist in frustration. Damn it! I pounded the wall trying to process everything when I heard a gentle voice. I'm sorry for what just happened. I turned around to find the source of the voice only a few paces behind me. Miss Pandora. Her voice was barely a whisper. Pandora, you heard our conversation? I apologize, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I was only nearby because I wanted to talk to you privately. Me? Yes, I was wondering, how did this message mean anything to you? What does that say? Pandora pulled a small piece of paper out from her apron pocket. The note had 2 small symbols on it, along with some text. If you recognize one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me and are safe. Please do not speak of this note's existence. Trust no one but yourself. Upon closer inspection, the symbols were similar to the ones the announcement showed. What does this mean? You recognize either of them? I can't say that I do. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was confused by the contents of the note, so I was hoping someone can help me. In particular, I was wondering what the note meant by "you are safe." Based on what's shown on the note itself, the 2 symbols could be of interest. Seems there could have been someone here who might be connected to whoever is controlling the announcements. Basically, there might be a spy. I thought the same, but I wish the implications weren't so. Where did you find that? It was in my apron pocket since I woke up. I don't know how it got there. I don't recall putting anything like this in my pocket. I took the note away in her apron pocket. However, that really wasn't what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to say, I feel like you're a very special person. I can't really explain it, but I feel a strong aura about you. Oh, thank you. She smiled and went on. Echo, you might think being an ultimate student is some kind of extravagant existence, but you forget there is a beauty in the ordinary as well. Even if we do have ultimate talents, we're still regular people just like you. Waking up with bedheads, sometimes showing up late to our appointments. We're just a little more preoccupied with one particular thing than most others. Thank you, Pandora. Pandora managed to quell a bit of the worry in my heart. But it is a pity what happened between you and Ashley. I don't know what to think anymore. One moment Missy is telling me not to believe a word the announcement says, and another Ash is cutting ties with me in a firm belief of the dangers of the game. What am I supposed to do? I felt my throat begin to choke. Oh, I don't know what to say. Tres désolé? I forgot to say the accent. Echo? I don't think it's my place to say, however. This is but a bump in the road. Ashley will always be your best friend no matter what. And it may be difficult to determine what's in store for us ahead, so we must keep our faith and live one moment at a time. The lights started to dim as Pandora smiled at me one last time. It is now 9 p.m. Nighttime will begin at 10 p.m. Facilities will be closed until 7 a.m. the next morning. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. Oh dear, looks like nighttime has come. Well then, bonne nuit, Echo. And please don't tell anyone about this note. I don't want to cause any unnecessary trouble. I feel like this note is the key to many mysteries of this place. I nodded. The note was odd, but I couldn't find it in me to outright doubt Pandora. Good night to you too, Pandora. We both returned to our personal rooms to pass over the night. Can't be only me thinking Pandora's suspicious. She's awfully suspicious. Turning to my room, I made myself comfortable and slipped into bed. I stared blankly at the dim ceiling, letting my mind wander aimlessly through the news I learned today. But nothing really stuck. Words and conversations and thoughts blew by as I let my heavy eyes close. One thought that pervaded the others was, what will be waiting for us tomorrow? Before I knew it, I had fallen into a deep sleep. Right, what would be waiting? Day 3. 4 more days. I opened my eyes to the now familiar colors of the room. I looked at the clock on my bedside table. 7:28. I turned off the alarm before it rang and slowly got out of bed. Only 2 days had passed and I found myself beginning to accumulate to the sleep schedule. I splashed my face with cold water, the icy sting charging my nerves for a sharp awakening. I wonder if anyone is in the dining hall for breakfast yet. I made my way to the dining hall, stopping in the foyer for a moment to gaze at the mysterious, electrifying doorway. In the dining hall were a few early risers just starting breakfast. Good morning. Good morning, Echo. Please help yourself. I made some muffins with citrus today. Hopefully it energized you. Looking like a hearty, satisfying breakfast to start the day. Oh, rolling with the same crew as last night, except I guess Ashley was switched in for Pandora. My heart hurt when Art and Wicker mentioned Ashley. Pandora must have noticed and sat close to me. Here, I made lemon squares just for you. Ashley told me in the past that you like lemon. Did? But Ashley was still looking out for me. Thanks, Pandora. Can you tell her thank you for me as well? Of course. We continued our leisurely breakfast as we all shook off the night's slumber. No one else came in during the length of our stay in the dining hall, however. It is now 9 a.m. Please assemble in the second floor atrium for a special announcement. After the announcement ended, I mechanically started to get up from my seat when Art loudly kicked his feet up on the table. No way. Art leaned back in his chair and pouted. We're not going to listen to your crispy announcements, you hear? He waggled his finger aimlessly at the ceiling. I wonder what happens if we refuse to assemble. Maybe we should just do it. Do you want to test this passive protest? Why not? I'm curious as well. Hey, isn't that dangerous? I agree, it might be risky. The only risk so far has been from when Echo actively tried to escape. Past 48 hours have been nothing but casual to us. However, after a moment of silence, the painting above the fireplace switched to the announcement emblem. It was a killing game announcer. So, welcome to day 3. Oh, so it plays regardless. I sat down and allowed the announcement to disrupt our morning. Are you all comfortable? Having a nice breakfast? Have fun sleeping in? That's great to hear. Today we'll be reviewing some general rules relative to our lovely killing game. They are as follow. Students will enjoy an idyllic lifestyle within the walls for a duration of 7 days. Activity and amenities are open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Breaking the major assets, kitchen, refrigerator, theater lights, etc. is strictly prohibited. At the end of 7 days, whoever survives is awarded the ultimate prize. To expedite the process towards the ultimate prize, one must kill a fellow student without getting caught. And to get the ball rolling this morning, a special musing will be provided to exercise your mind. Today's fourth motive question is, are your talents a true representation of who you are? Who are you beyond your talent? Stew upon these brain-twisting inquiries as you all carry on with your communal lives. And whoever actually go into the atrium gets an additional special gift. Ha, yeah, I know. No one wants to go to the second floor just to hear an announcement. That's what speakers are for, after all. So whoever followed the rules got a little something something, if you know what I mean. Finally, if there are no developments by the end of the day, there will be serious repercussions. We'll suffer the consequences and be executed as a group for failing to participate in the game. Check out your bracelets. They all contain a lethal dose of Complex 53. Just enough to knock you into the next life in less than a minute. Huh? Flip my bracelet over to see a small vial of clear liquid attached to a controlled chip. Our bracelets have these things the whole time? But, that's just a last resort. I don't really want to use it unless you all really just bore me. So come on, you all, make it happen. Oh, so they have to play. The bizarre announcement cut out and the painting returned to its original form. So, the thing they're giving us to motivate murder is a question. And the threat of a clear liquid that is proclaimed to be a deadly toxic gas. As far as I know, such a chemical by the name of Complex 53 doesn't exist. Might just be water, like a prop or something, and to release it only at the end of the day if nothing happens? I dunno, seems kinda weak. I furrowed my brow. I recall what Missy said yesterday, that the risk wasn't high enough to do something drastic. The question was hardly raising the bar, not to mention a small vial of liquid. As for the other provided motive, as if it were... I don't understand. Are we meant to discuss the question with each other? Perhaps. Unless anyone has any skeletons in the closet, I believe it is only fair to share our thoughts on the subject. I sheepishly ducked my head when Missy caught me. Echo, why don't you lead us in our discussion? You're the most qualified, since you sit in the rather gray area when it comes to ultimate talents. Which isn't to say that you're not included, but I think you have the most neutral viewpoint that is appropriate for judgment. Sure, if you say so. If you don't want to, it's not necessary. It's alright, I have to admit, I'm pretty curious now. Well, let's see what everyone has to say. Let's start with art. Is being a pro golfer a true representation of who I am? I really don't get it. I mean, I think it is. I haven't really expanded my interests outside of what I am, which is golf, so I can't say anything else encompasses who I am. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. If we try something new now, I think it might be disorienting to fail at said activity since you're not also skilled in it. Oh yeah, that does make sense. Well, ultimate golfer or not. Yeah, I like playing golf. I think I got so good at the sport because I knew I liked it all this time and stuck around. Never really thought about other stuff. Yeah, there we go. I guess it's a simple sentiment. Heh, thanks, Echo. Cyrus. So, Cyrus. Yes? What does being called the ultimate charisma entail? Why, it's the mystifying ability to draw people towards me with little to no effort. Or so I've been told. Some might equate the word charisma with charm and in turn think that charisma has to do with good looks, beautiful voice, overflowing wealth, and etc. However, I think charisma actually lies simply in having a kind soul. People are swayed by those with a kind soul, be it that they have good intentions to follow through on or bad intentions to take advantage of. I found myself absorbed in Cyrus' statement. Might even say you're rather charismatic yourself, Echo. Oh, I don't know if I would go that far. Nonsense. I welcome your presence. It's calming. I felt a little embarrassed after being given such praise from the one so-called ultimate charisma himself. So with that in mind, how would you describe your personality and talent? Not sure. It's always difficult to talk about yourself, though I suppose I do like going with the flow. I guess the word could be cooperative? Alright, let's go on to next. Political tactician, huh? It's not glamorous. I'm often tasked with knowing the burdens and misdeeds of many people in power. It's somewhat a curse to be able to lie my way out of a sticky situation. How do you feel about being called the ultimate tactician, though? I don't mind. It is what it is. It is a strength I've been blessed with, and I would have been misspoken if I had said I took an interest in other things. Most know my personality to be that of someone who informs. And if I can give a purpose-driven voice power to speak up for what's right, then an ensuing battle, be it a difficult one, produce satisfying results. I believe at the end of it, if intense debate occurs, there's often an intense emotion behind it. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen your fair share of selfishness and greed though. Circumventing those intentions can be trying, but you just need to take the good with the bad. Missy's self-assured as always. Last but not least, Pandora, the suspicious one. Who am I beyond my talent? Honestly, I wouldn't be anything without baking. Even in another life, I think I will always find my way back to baking. It's just in my soul. I think at the core of it, such an activity represents all that I care for in life. The simplicity in sharing good food with friends. To make something infused with love and to bring joy to others. It's quite a special feeling, is it not? Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Listen to me being so sentimental. You really love baking, huh? Oh, it's everything. Everyone said similar things. That their talents run alongside with their personalities, can't have one without the other. It's an odd motive. I can imagine talking about this kind of thing among peers would only reinforce relations. If our captors are trying to plant distrust, I'm afraid that I don't quite understand the logic. I thought about the intention of the question, but all I could think about was it might be to weed out spies. Which involuntarily led me to suspect the person I will least suspect. Something the matter, Echo? Oh, nothing. I've read my guess from Pandora. She has some kind of secret note that bore the strange emblem of her mansion announcers. What could it mean? If I may seem so bold, I firmly believe from our discussion that our ultimate talents are truly one and is in with our personality and characteristics. I'm inclined to agree. I guess it's cool that we got to know each other a little more though. Seems like a friendly enough topic. Indeed, our talents and skills born from a passion within, you simply cannot remove that aspect of a person without losing a part of them. A peculiar motivator, that one. With our thoughts on the forced motive question cleared, our group was able to finish the morning in peace. The breakfast club wrapped up, and with no other announcements to interrupt us, the afternoon was completely available for our individual activities. We didn't have anything particular planned today, so I outed in the foyer before deciding what to do next. Hey, Echo! A familiar voice erupted from behind me. What's up, Art? This might be weird to ask, but do you mind if I hang out with you today? I'm kinda curious about the other students' talent stories, but I don't want to go running around the mansion alone. Why didn't you ask one of the others from breakfast? Huh? Oh, 'cause you're so cool! What? I mean, you're easy to talk to. I thought about asking Missy, but she's kind of imposing, honestly. You know, I feel like I have to walk all nice like I'm bouncing the books in my head or something. I don't think she's strict on how others walk or anything. That aside, she stuck around you on the first date, didn't she? Oh yeah, you're right. Well, I'm asking you since I'm here. Besides, I can't find Lau. I want to get into a strategy meeting today and maybe even help him with solving some stuff first, but that was his second choice. Somehow he seems disappointed. Sure, I'll tag along. I don't really have anything planned today anyway. I trailed off thinking about Ashley. I probably cut down in one visit right here, since you and Ashley are best friends. Do you know anything about her talent? Honestly, I can't say that I do. This is the first time I even heard about such a thing like ultimate talents. All I knew was that she lived out in the countryside with her father on a ranch, Westbridge Stables. I didn't think all her time around horses amounted to something as intense as being an ultimate jockey. Maybe she just likes being honest? I mean, just because she has high win rates doesn't mean she avoids taking care of horses. Kind of like she works hard and plays hard. Does that make sense? I couldn't really make heads or tails of it. I didn't really want to be thinking about Ashley at the moment. Anyway, it was too overwhelming. I sighed. Yeah, I suppose that could be it. Alright, that's one down. Let's get going. Seems I got roped into exploring the other students' opinions on the forced motive question with Art. Not that I was opposed to the idea of learning about the others. There's a handful of people we haven't heard from. Alrighty, let's go to Forte. Forte is probably where I think he is. Ah, Art and Echo, what brings you here? Art was curious about your opinion of the forced motive question. Yeah, why opera? Isn't it boring? Art, full of tact, I see. Ha! It's quite the opposite of boring. Performances are very rich, can shake the viewer to the very core. Opera is a wonderful art that combines raw vocal emotion with the physical beauty of expressing the self with the very being. Oh. Wanna hit it with some bars? Forte's operatic voice, to say I was a little curious would be an understatement. I don't know, I could perform under these conditions. What conditions? Why, the conditions of the art, of course. You don't get it? Can we ask why that is? Well, you see, I haven't been able to properly express myself since the tragedy struck my hometown. We lost a friend in our community. Sir Hyde, one of our most loyal friends. One of his favorite pastimes included long walks in the park, with the wind gently brushing against his ears. Wait, is he talking about what I think he's talking about? You lost your dog? Art! Yes, I'm still rather fragile about it. I'm sorry, that sucks, man. Does it see that little? I suppose it's different, experiencing tragedy than performing it. Ah, precisely. I've been troubled since. What kind of dog was he? A German Shepherd of 13 years. I'm sure you give him a great full life, with lots of music, of course. Forte's lips turned into a small grin. Indeed, dog is a man's best friend, are they not? It would have been unseemly of me to treat him not unlike my own family. He has such a charm and wit, and howling along by practice. Why, I dare say, he prevented me from practicing times more often than not. Sir Hyde loved to command the attention of all with his gaiety. Couldn't help but smirk at the idea of his dog on the theater stage. It was a sweet thought. Yeah, just remember those good old times with Mr. Hyde. Indeed I shall. Thank you, Art. After that small chat, Art and I thanked Forte for his time and paused near the theater exit to collect our thoughts. I bet his dog was really fun to play with. Anyway, what did we learn? I don't think we got an answer to the question as much as we did a description of what opera is. I think we did. Forte's kind of a dramatic guy, sure, but I think he is very in tune with his emotions. Just like opera. Satisfied with the answer, Art nodding in understanding. And despite him jumping straight to Forte's worries, Art seemed to have helped Forte recall his fondness of his late friend. Alrighty, let's go to Sai. Let's try to find Sai. Art and I saw Sai in the kitchen, poking at the digital screen. I haven't eaten since yesterday. Sai, what's the matter? Oh, it's no use. I don't know how to use the screen thing. It doesn't register my taps. Huh? You need to tap the bracelet to the screen first, then you can choose a meal. What? She raised her right arm and scanned her bracelet to the screen, activating the display. This is embarrassing. I'm not right-handed, so I didn't think about it. Glad I could help. Sai poked at the digital screen, ordering a rice porridge with pickled vegetables. Get up, Sai. Echo, let's get something too, since she doesn't have to eat alone. Art, Sai, and I shared a small meal together. After we finished, Sai quickly sat in the dining hall and fiddled with her rings. She let out a big, exasperated sigh. Ugh, it's really no use. What's wrong? I can't get used to anything around here. Maybe because I'm kind of forgetful, but I went so long without eating because I couldn't figure out the menu thing. You shouldn't go so long without eating. If you need help with anything, you can always ask one of your friends here. Friends? Was that too forward? No, it's just, I don't talk to you all very much, so I didn't believe you thought I made a friend. No, don't say that. There's no reason we wouldn't call you a friend, right? She stopped there, but I saw a small smile turn the corner of her lips. So, right down to business. Business? Came by to see you to ask you about the question thing. The question thing? You mean the forced motive question? Yeah, a group of us were talking about it in the dining hall over breakfast, and we were wondering if you had any thoughts about it. I don't know. It seems straightforward. I'm a detail-oriented person and watches are full of little mechanisms. Although I guess I can get lost in the details and miss the big picture, like just now. But then again, after all the gear design differences after the face of the wash, under the face of the wash, the outcome is still fixed. A timepiece, right? Yeah, I really don't understand what the question is supposed to be all about. Sorry. No worries. We don't know either, so we're just going around and getting everyone's opinion. Oh, I see. Well, good luck figuring it out then. Sai climbs up and quickly scuttles off before we can say anything else. Oh, bye. She's kind of antsy, isn't she? Right, she's really shy. Well, let's go. This one's still missing. We haven't seen him since all day. Kanon. Kanon can avoid us forever. Kanon was in the atrium, photographing some of the greenery in the center of the Grand Hall. Art and I hid away behind some bushes, watching quietly. Guys are so weird. Okay, I know you two are there. Be quiet until I'm done. We watched in silence as she snapped various photos of the plants. At with it, what do you want? Echo was curious about your talent in relation to the forced motive question. Way to throw me under the bus. Yeah, just wanted to hear your thoughts. There's not much to say. I know who I am. I'm a photographer, behind-the-scenes kind of person who brings others' visions to life and captures them for eternity. Is this rehearsed or what? No. I just know who I am. With certainty. Just as Kanon was about to make a dramatic exit on that lingering note, Pandora caught her on her way out. Oh, Kanon, that's the person I wanted to see. And is this about the motive question as well? Indeed. I don't know how to say that name. It's an interesting subject. Would you mind if I ask, what draws you to it? Yes, I do mind. It's niche, and I don't want to waste my breath explaining these nuances to people who wouldn't understand. No activity is so niche that it's acted upon without love, you know. Whatever, leave me alone. Did I offend you? No. Just, why are you all bombarding me with questions? We're not close. It is how we get close. We make small talk and learn about each other. It's all in good spirit. Well, I really wish you wouldn't bother. Kanon ends the conversation for us again and disappears from the atrium. Well, I guess that's that. Sorry you had to walk in on that, Pandora. It's fine. Perhaps it wasn't my place to ask. I shouldn't pry, right? No, you don't have to do anything wrong. Kanon's just kinda snippy. That's putting it kindly. Thank you, Art, Echo. Excuse me. I just remembered something. I'll see you two around? Oh, sure thing. We'll see you later. I wonder... Can I be in his room? What if he's dead already? Art and I looked around for Lyle, but he remained elusive as ever. What the heck? Where's Lyle? I don't know. I'm certain we might have ran into him by now. If we run around some more, we're bound to find him sooner or later. After running around all day, Art and I managed to catch Lyle as he was about to enter his room on the other side of the living quarters hall. Yo, Lyle! Hey there, what's going on? I mean, what's the good word? You're awfully casual for being so difficult to find. Yeah, we finally caught you. Huh? You've been running around this whole building solving puzzles. And we've been running around this whole building looking for you. Oh, I'm in hot demand, is that right? Yeah, we want to hear your thoughts on the motive of the question. You thought it might improve relations, getting to know each other better and all? Ah, that. Forced motive question. It's not a very strong motivator, is it? But if I didn't want to talk about it, I suppose you don't have to. Yeah, but we're friends, we should share stuff like this. And friends should know when to let up on pressure. Oh, sorry, Lyle. Art looked down dejectedly. I'm sure I didn't mean to press you so hard. It's fine. It's just, I've just known puzzles all my life, you know. Puzzle solving is more of a introverted task, if you will. You're generally seen as activities simply for passing time. Cubing, passwords, crosswords, etc. I don't really like thinking about who I am behind my talent is all. I'm afraid that I'm too boring without puzzles. I'm not boring. You're plentiful. I mean, look around, you got all sorts of friends here who think you're amazing for charging right towards opening the electric door. Right, Echo? Amazing was one way to put it. Yeah, Lyle, don't beat yourself up. You have a gift? Thanks, you two. But hey, while we're on topic, listen to this. I tinkered with the door and I managed to figure something out. Lyle had our attention as he led the way to the foyer. Okay, did you figure it out? Here we are. Give the door a try. What? No way. Does that mean we don't have to stay here anymore? No, that's the catch. Go ahead. I gave Lyle a nervous look before slowly reaching for the door handle. Braced myself, but quickly gripped the door handle and nothing happened. I was fine. Oh, Lyle, you did it. I gave the door a push, but it wouldn't budge. Oh, what now? What the? Is there a barricade or something? I think so. That or it's just a hard lock. So I managed to disable the electric door, and the physical barrier is an issue now. I admit I'm relieved that there's more layers to this task. What do you mean? It would have been too boring if I had just had to disarm a door. I'm concerned with that discovery, but I was more satisfied with having more puzzles to solve than he was with removing a trap in a dangerous door. Here's something else that's interesting though. It might be important since it's about this weird killing game twist. After that 9 AM morning announcement, I saw Sai sneak downstairs from the direction of the atrium. I think she actually went to listen to that announcement. I didn't think of anything else. Even stranger was that after she came down, she went to the dining hall for a minute but quickly left. I poked around in there and saw this in the pantry. Oh, a secret note. So is that the so-called special gift? Yeah, I can only assume. I was confused. How could it have been a special gift from this morning if Pandora shared a note with me in confidentiality last night? I decided to keep quiet about it. I didn't want to confuse things further. I studied it a little more and the symbols don't match any symbols of the students that are currently here. I cross-referenced the note's symbols with the ones in our personal room doors and got nothing. That is, if the note symbols even belong to students. I remember Missy saying something about other students. Oh? You told me that the Preservation Project divides ultimate student groups across different wings of the building. Maybe those are students from a different wing. So what should we do if we want to know about those students? It's not like we've seen them in our part of the building yet. Who knows? Could it be morphogenetic field theory? Bob muttering something under his breath. Morpho what? Don't worry about it. It makes me wonder though, are we meant to be recognizing other students? For example, I believe I recall Ashley and Echo being friends before this, am I wrong? No, you're right, I thought it was just me though. Right? See, for me, I recognize his art's school emblem, AA Academy, right? Huh? Yeah, how'd you know? I went to Rain Moth Institute. I remember seeing your school symbol when our schools merged. My school used to be called Signal Prep High School before the merger. I thought you were so cool representing your whole school to influence a merger. It's kind of embarrassing. It was such a long time ago, I hardly remember it. Why not? It's amazing that you use your golf skills to make something happen. Our school has never been in better shape thanks to your help. Thanks, but people complain that my games aren't as interesting enough since I always get the same result, a hole-in-one. You always say games should be entertaining. They should just play golf themselves, you know? Besides, Lyle, you're the one that's cool. I mean, use like your deduction or whatever to figure out how to disarm a dangerous door. That's more utility than I could have ever imagined. It's nothing. The door doesn't even open anyway. It's so awesome though. I feel like you could even figure out what the deal is with the killing game announcement stuff. Oh yes, that sand goal. I'm just working my way through all these small pieces that they've given me. The two talked energetically as I awkwardly watched. Oh, sorry Echo, we're just over here talking your ear off, huh? That's alright. I'll take my leave now. If you guys want to continue. Sure. It was fun hanging out with you. Let me know if you come across anything else weird, alright? Art and Lyle left, chattering along the way out. They really clicked, huh? Despite Art's lack of sensitivity. I turned around and glanced over at the digital kiosk in the foyer, looking for the time. 15 o'clock. Is that 7 o'clock now? Oh, it's 3 in the afternoon. I don't know how to tell. Military time. 3 in the afternoon. Nothing regarding the killing game has happened all day. I guess I should be relieved? I really want to find Ashley, but it seems like she's trying her best to put distance between us. Suppose I'll just pass time in the study. I mean, he's already around other ultimate students, so what does it matter? I made my way to the study and skimmed a collection of encyclopedias. An interesting titled book, Odd Theme Parks Around the World, caught my attention. With the tome in hand, I settled into the warmly lit study and began to leaf through the pages. I had the time reading about a strange underwater theme park called the Moon. I looked up from the book's pages and towards the ringing sound coming from the ceiling. It is now 4 p.m. And no one has died yet. Ugh, how boring. Here's something that'll pump up your blood to shed some blood. Some inspiring, exciting, and energizing music. Music. This one's a special request from many of you at home. Enjoy. Beck. The announcement finished and a cacophony of obnoxious noise starts playing overhead. Ugh, what kind of music is that? I read the book to cover my ears, but it was pointless. The reverberation pierced through my skull and pounded through the walls. What the hell? Exploring the room, I looked for the speaker, hoping to block the noise, but my efforts were futile. I ran out of the study, but the din kept crashing through my head, amplified words from bouncing off the walls to the hallway's walls. Where is everyone? I instinctively went to the foyer, but it was no use. The door was disarmed, but it was still barricaded. What can I do? The noise was more severe in the foyer as it crashed up the walls and echoed through the main chamber. Ugh. My head was pounding. I could feel the vibrations in my body and my heart beating in my ears. Turning away from the main doors, I saw a shadowy movement at the top of the stairs. Hey! The shadow disappeared. I rushed out a cry for attention, but it was drowned out by the noise. Speeding up the stairs, the shadow was nowhere to be seen. Shoot, where did it go? I peeked through the glass door of the closest room, the spa lounge, and spotted Pandora reclined in one of the lounge chairs. Finally, someone to help me with this horrible situation. I threw the door wide open and rushed in. The music persisted as echoes off its beat floated into the circular chamber. Pandora, what's going on? I can't find anybody. No reaction. Pandora? I closed the distance between us and gently laid... Oh. Time froze. My breath escaped me once more as I slowly came to realize what had happened. I felt my blood turn cold as my eyes lay fixed on the stillness before me. Oh, someone strangled her. I can see her neck. Oh god. There was no response from her. Pandora was dead.
Danganronpa.
Someone must have done it with that music. The music influenced them to do it. I darted out the spa lounge, my arms tearing through the halls. I screamed at the top of my lungs for help from anyone. Help! 2 people swept in at the sound of my voice. What is it? Stop making so much noise. The music is making enough racket. It's Pandora. She's... Where is she? I raced back to the spa lounge. Cyrus and Kanon's eyes were bound immediately towards the horrific sight. Kanon gasped sharply and flinched, nearly toppling over backwards from the recoil. Cyrus's expression hardened. Quiet anger emanated from him. It was almost palpable in the air. I myself was completely drained. All I could do was stare in the cold silence. Finally, the music ceased and the new announcement began. Yeah, now suspicious of Pandora too. They made her suspicious on purpose. Alas, the body has been discovered in the spa lounge. We will be granted a period of investigation and then we'll begin our class trial. Please accept this generous gift of a special report called the Monokokuma file. It will be printed from the digital kiosk and it outlines the details of our poor lost friend. Your lives depend on solving this case, so get a crack on it. The announcement cut out, allowing stiff apprehension to suffocate the scene. Investigation. They want us to investigate Pandora's dead body. And how dare that announcement call her a poor lost friend? It's their fault for forcing this game on us. Echo, please calm yourself. It appears we're being given an opportunity to right this wrong. It may be difficult to swallow, but this didn't just happen out of nowhere. Someone did this. A culprit. Huh? A culprit? It's only appropriate. The culprit we are seeking is the killer responsible for Pandora's death. His voice was burned, but I could see him clenching his jaw and his eyebrows furrowed as he looked back at the body. Kanan, however, stood unmoving. She neither spoke since I last saw her flinch at the first sight. It's like she froze. Right. The door flew open and suddenly I heard everyone clamoring at the spa lounge entryway. Ooh. Sai shrieked and immediately fainted. Sai! The rest of the students made their way in, fright painting everyone's faces as they each caught sight of the spa's terrible centerpiece. Unbelievable. I wish that announcement was just made in jest, but it appears I haven't made a fool for hoping. Oh god, this is too much. Why Pandora? Why? Everyone seemed at a loss, with good reason, for sure. The announcement said we were given a period of investigation, but I couldn't help but think it was such a detached cold request. Investigate the murder of our friend? Where would we even begin? Missy's commanding voice broke the silence. So, we've been instructed to investigate such a thing. The Monokuma file should tell all about the means of her death. But how do we even start? Does anyone know the first thing about investigating a dead body? No one spoke up, but Missy pressed on. All we can do is investigate to the best of our ability. If there's even a small, trifling matter that plays into this, keep it in mind. We need to put our best foot forward in investigation if we are to find this heartless culprit. I have a bad feeling that the class trial may be an unforgiving scene. It's such a tragedy. Dreadful rumors say that we must be the ones to discover the culprit among us. Everyone was visibly stressed. We all stood some feet away from the body, afraid of approaching the reality of our situation. The air was thick with tension, but Ashley cut through. Missy's right, we need to get to the bottom of this. Someone killed our friend for some awful reason, if not for the ultimate prize. Murder is murder. Someone dies in another's hand and that life is taken away. One lives and one dies. There's no gray area about it. Ashley's eyes were fiery with intent. Someone here. She trailed off, but we could fill in the blanks on our own. She didn't dare to utter the idea that someone standing within our ranks did this. She marched over and gently laid a hand on Pandora, sharing a moment of silence for her. Maybe it wasn't someone from your group. The rest of the group was unnerved but slightly agreed. Missy and Ashley were stern, but they were right. I was shocked at the sight of Pandora's body. But I mostly felt sad. She looked peaceful, suspended in a newfound endless slumber. The longer I looked at Pandora, the more the suffocating melody in my heart grew. My heart ached to hear her voice again, to see her smile. She had so much life, and it was dashed away in an instant. I clung to whatever memories I had of her. I couldn't let her warmth, her love, her hope go unforgotten. Someone killed her. We need to find out who it was. Not only for our peace of mind, but for Pandora's sake. Despite my fever, I was still anxious about investigating a body. It was only natural. Just this morning, Pandora was so animated, sharing her breakfast pastries and getting along with everyone, but now all signs of life were erased, leaving a cold semblance of her person. I tried to work through the nerves by asking the others their thoughts on the situation. That is, if anyone had anything to say. Investigation commenced. Alrighty. Should we do? The Monokuma file shed some light on Pandora's death. It looks like a considerable amount has been conveniently omitted. Or rather, the entire file has been paraphrased for the purpose of vagueness. May I take a look? Missy handed me a black postcard-sized sheet. Okay. Pandora Esper, cause of death. Cause of death, victim suffered from, strangulation. No further injuries detected. so it was strangulation. But is that all the information we have? Unfortunately. However, we have yet to inspect the scene itself. I trust none of the first witnesses shifted around anything upon arrival. No, I didn't touch anything. I saw our body ran out and yelled for help, which called Cyrus and Kanan. Neither of them approached her. Well, there's not much else we could do. I swallowed hard. Still wasn't ready to confront the body, but I steeled myself regardless. Something deep in my heart told me I need to do this. Echo, I know what you're thinking. It's hard, but we need to face her. Alrighty. Let's discuss. I don't know who else. Let's discuss with you. Lyle. Lyle, what are you thinking? If I'm being honest, I don't know. It's not a lot on the scene to dissect. The only thing that caught my eye was a shred of paper in the spa pool, but it's completely ruined. Expected a bit more keen observation from him, but even Lyle was either stumped or too shocked to speak on the matter. Aside from making as soon as she entered the spa lounge, Morte was kind enough to situate her in a spare chair off to the side to regain her strength. Ugh, I didn't think I'm going to be sick. I rubbed his back as he took deep breaths. Hey, it'll be okay. I could barely echo a word in his state. Let's go with Ash. Echo. It's selfish, but after I heard the announcement, I was relieved to see you standing in the room. That said, Pandora didn't deserve this. No one deserves this. I just hope she didn't suffer. Ashley fell silent and stared at our lost friend. I had never seen Ashley so distraught. Cyrus. This is distressing to say the least. Echo, you're the first one here. Yeah, I didn't catch anyone on my way here though, so I can't say I saw anyone suspicious who could have done this. It came pretty quickly after I shouted. Did you happen to see anyone? I can't say that I did. I was in the climbing center right next door, too. Was Kanan with you? She came about the same time as you, if I recall correctly. No, I was by myself. While I was in the climbing center, I left the door open if anyone wanted to join in recreation. No one came by the center, and I didn't leave until I heard your voice. I ran into Kanan shortly thereafter in the hallway just in front of the spa lounge. Weird. I didn't run into anyone on the first floor either, so whoever did it must have just vanished. That's unlikely. Regardless, how did the culprits give us a slip? Cyrus was grumbling to himself as he tried to organize his events past. Is it really possible that the music provoked the murder? I can't wrap my head around the music being used to motivate something so extreme. I agree, I cannot condone the vilifying of music. It's proven that music has therapeutic qualities, but conversely, select sounds have the ability to cause anxiety and other negative effects. In that case, maybe the motivating music was meant to make us stop thinking clearly. I definitely felt startled when it began. Perhaps, the rhythm of music can affect your body. Given our experience with the motivating music, it was high-paced and likely used to cause, as the announcer said, blood-pumping excitement. I suppose those qualities could have been abused to activate a fight or flight response that would inevitably end like this. Is that so? That wretched music was certainly irritating, but for someone to succumb and produce such an intense reaction, to what end? Is the music really that motivating? I would say that it isn't that motivating. Don't talk to me. Nan spoke through tightly gritted teeth. She looked disturbed. I didn't get anything out of her. I admit this is nothing if not shocking to see. The words were unwavering, but Missy's voice was cracked and disjointed. Yeah, I can't believe it actually happened. It's inconceivable, and to Pandora nonetheless. She held together quite strongly. I'm certain her spirit would not have been crushed by a game constructed with fear. Alas, there's no use thinking in hopeful hypotheticals now that this has occurred. Yeah. I was shaken how articulate, even on the subject of death, Missy remained. Someone else, really. Paper? There's a small scrap of paper in the pool. What's that? Not sure. Carefully fished out the scrap of paper, taking care not to tear it. Yep, it was that paper that she showed you. It was soaked, causing the words to be completely illegible. Oh, it's impossible to read. Yeah, it's ruined. It almost fell apart in my hands. I know perhaps, however, the writing is impossible to decipher at this point. How could this refuse be remotely related to the case at hand? Yeah, it seems kind of out of place, though. Remember the announcement from this morning said there was a special gift for whoever went to the atrium? That is correct. Is it possible that this note was the supposed special gift? I can't say. However, I noticed the larger ink bolts were vaguely in the shape of something I've seen before. That's the shreds of paper on the side of the pool. Let's see. Pandora's body. It's Pandora's body. Pandora's bracelet, formerly a rose gold color like my own, was now a vibrant neon pink. I guess it meant she's gone. As typical as it is, you have to search the body and scene for clues. Nevertheless, Missy was having a hard time looking directly at Pandora's body. Do you notice anything odd? I briefly looked at Pandora's neck. Her neck seems to be in pretty bad shape. It looks red from some kind of stress. But other than that, I can't really figure out anything else. The victim report. According to the Monokuma file, the cause of death states she suffered strangulation. Let's think about it. If she was strangled, with what did the culprit strangle her with? Maybe one of her own, ties she had? Good question. Do you think the culprit went to the climbing center and used the rope? Or perhaps they cruelly used their own bare hands? I shuddered at the thought. The fact that we had to think about how the culprit committed such a thing was unnerving. Anything else to investigate? We already have anything here. I think that's it. After investigating Pandora's body, I felt an exhaustion like no other. Never in my life did I think I would be experiencing something like this. The weight of the shock and melancholy of it all bore heavy on my shoulders. Is there nothing else we can do? I wonder, did anyone else see anything else suspicious on their way here? We all looked at one another, but no one replied. Everyone was understandably on edge, and of course no one wanted to talk. It appears we've exhausted all avenues of investigation here. Such a lackluster amount of clues doesn't bode well for us. Yes, but if we have done all we can looking into the scene, there's nothing left but to discover Pandora's killer. Of course that's easier said than done. Ugh. Her Kanon grumbling in the corner, she seemed distressed. Alright, I think I've given you all enough leeway to get yourselves together. So it's time for the class trial. I hope you have enough ammunition to shoot down the culprit. If not, then I guess you're all out of luck. There's an elevator to the main foyer that will cruise you all down to the special class trial courtroom. If you do not assemble in the elevator quickly enough, I'll send out a radio transmission that will release toxic gas in your bracelet. You want to find out who did it, right? You don't want your lives to end before you even had a chance to defend yourselves, right? All that and more will be available for your group in the courtroom. Let's get a move on. I'll be seeing you shortly. The announcement went out as quickly as it came. Okay, this guy sucks. So this is really happening. The group shifted around anxiously. Well, what are we waiting for? Ashley took the first strides out of the room, not without giving Pandora one last somber look from the doorway. Rotate easily eased sides awake, turning her gaze from the unsightly scene and helped her as she hobbled out. One by one, others filtered out of the spa lounge. I stood back for a moment to take one last look at Pandora. We all stepped into the large elevator and began the dark ascent into the supposed courtroom. The elevator sailed noisily towards our unknown destination for what felt like an eternity. Silently we stood. No one dared speak. I had a lump in my throat from the anxiety, the fear, the sadness. My stomach was knotted, my head dizzy, my heart aching. The spot lounge we were meant to investigate came short of any useful clues. We were only able to procure 2 traces of evidence, one fact of which was already stably stated in the victim report. The other was a secret note that only few were aware of. Nervous was an understatement. I was at a complete loss. The elevator eventually slid to a standstill, shaking me from my thoughts. Oh. The doors opened to reveal our rendezvous point. The spacious dome-shaped room was topped with a glass ceiling, a third of the foundation revealing the sunset sky outside our confines. The walls themselves were barren and simple. A matte navy blue with a rimmed light illuminated the room. Hanging on the wall, across the way was a grand picture frame representing Pandora. The profile had been crudely stricken with a violent pink X. The picture frame was positioned so that it was looking almost hauntingly over a circular group of podiums. It was a bleak place. To think there was a dedicated location for whatever was about to occur. Just where were we? Welcome one and all to the trial grounds. Standing before you will be the key locale for today's trials, so let's see some hustle, people. The announcement was much more imposing in the courtroom, echoing through the dorm chamber, each reverberation almost pushing us into place. We steadily settled in and stood in silence. At the stands we were placed in a circular fashion. Our faces, our fears, and our emotions were exposed to one another. The atmosphere, thick with anxiety, was palpable and crushing. I could feel my heavy heart pounding in my head, my palms sweaty, yet I could only feel a dreadful, eerie chill go up my spine. I tried to be strong, but my knees were weak, my breath short. We were here because of one unmistakable fact. Someone killed her. Pandora Esper, the ultimate baker. A gentle and caring person who wanted nothing more than to share her good spirit and delectable treats from around the world. Someone here was responsible for her death. And the only thing that kept me standing firm was a drive to figure out who heartlessly ended her life. A light began to flicker weakly from the center of the circle of stands. The flickering gained strength as the shape began to take form within the light. Something like the shape of a person began to appear. What the hell is this? Ha ha ha. Welcome one and all, welcome to the courtroom. Who are you? What is that? Who am I? What is that? Answers to those questions don't matter too much. Besides, I think you ought to have more pressing questions. Since something super bad has transpired. All you really need to know is that I'm your lovely judge for today's trial. Okay, maybe I'm not a real certified judge or whatever, but I will be the one passing judgment on what happens today, and after each subsequent murder to come. Judge, but not really a judge is too long and confusing to address me, so you may call me... Zero. The hologram of a person named Zero presented itself, giving a face to the voice of our killing game announcer. Class trial, all arise. That was really cool. Without further ado, I will take it you all know why you're here. Jeez, you're all a quiet bunch, huh? Y'all here to suss out who done it. In other words, you're all on trial to figure out who the culprit of today's heinous crime is. Do you think you could just get away with murder and win the prize? Nah, it's not that simple. The rules are as follows. Discuss, discover, and determine who the culprit is among your group. The majority will seal the individual's fate, and we'll just see what happens from there, yeah? One of the few outcomes will occur. Determine and vote incorrectly, and the entire class is executed, with the culprit alone being able to walk free and win the ultimate prize. That's the ideal endgame for the culprit. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of your group decision. Phew, you might live to see another day. Our victim today is Pandora Esper, the ultimate baker. This sweet young lady who do nothing wrong, or could she? Well, people can surprise you. So with that out of the way, get to talking. Who exactly are you? What? You're still asking that even though I introduced myself all nice? You should have bigger concerns than that. Talk about the murder. I can't believe who did it isn't your top priority right now. Oh, you wanna know who you are. Huh? No one wants to talk? Yeah, I remind you, your lives are kind of on the line. If none of you start talking, you'll all default to having lost a trial and you'll be executed. You don't want that, do you? Executed? What does that mean? Dictionary definition of execute to carry out a sentence of death. It's really quite simple. Now, on the other hand, it makes my job easier. I don't want to have to listen to bad deductions. On the other hand, I'd be terribly bored if this game didn't go past the first chapter. Ha ha ha. Everyone, please, we need to discuss who could have possibly done the unthinkable. As trifling or even irrelevant as something may be, if you have any concerns about the case, speak now. I know, Echo could say this. He saw a shadow. It's scary. Sai, are you okay? Sai, please don't put yourself. Yes, thank you. If he wants to talk, I'll talk. I'll talk about how scared I am. I just want to go home. I can't get used to anything around here. I don't know any of you people. And then someone gets killed. Ugh. Sai, I understand it's difficult. Discussing a friend's death is necessary to ensure we don't find a similar fate ourselves. At the very least, we can try to remember our last moments with her. That Zero is right. We don't want to go down without fight, right? Why don't we begin with Pandora's last known whereabouts? Silence in the room was very oppressive. I tried to defend ourselves. Why did I need to defend myself if I know for a fact that I would never kill her? Regardless, no one knew where to start. Well, then I shall begin. Last time I saw her, we were sharing a quiet breakfast. I can back that. The group was composed of Art, Echo, Missy, Pandora, and myself in the dining hall from about 7:40 to 10 a.m. After that, we all kind of went our own way. I ran around the mansion with Echo to talk to others who weren't at breakfast. Who did we see again, Echo? I think it was Sai. No, Kanan was the last one we saw. It was Forte, Kanan, Lucy, and Lyle. Lucy? Yeah, we saw Lyle. Then Ashley. Did we see Ashley? No, we didn't see Ashley. Sai, Kanan, Forte, and Lyle. And Ashley. Missy and Ashley. No, right? Oh yeah, okay, I remember. It was the group were Sai, Kanan, Forte, and Lyle. We asked them about their talents. That's right. But when we were touring the mansion, we met with those four and no one else. The only one we didn't see after breakfast were Pandora and Ashley. I mean, we met with Pandora when we were talking to Kanan, but she didn't stick around too long. She said she had elsewhere to be and left to go who knows where. There was a period of time in which no one saw Pandora last, is that correct? I wonder apparently being somewhere between 10 a.m. to approximately 4 p.m. Did anyone else provide their whereabouts in that approximate time frame? I was alone in the study for a good portion of the afternoon. I went to the theater at about 2:30. Oh, you must have left before I went in. I went to the study at 3 p.m. I had spent my time in my personal room. I wasn't in one place. I was investigating the mansion. Until 3, that is. I met up with Art for a little and eventually landed in the jazz club right before 4. I was regaling myself with the amenities in the theater for much of the afternoon. I was in my room too. After I had a meal with Art and Echo, I went back and I didn't leave it at all. I was in the atrium for a while. Looks like no one has a particularly strong alibi except for Art and Echo who can vouch for each other until 3 p.m. What does that mean? It means that since many of us were acting on our own for an extended period of time, our whereabouts can be heavily doubted. Anyone could have lied about their activity and instead set up some sort of trap to get rid of Pandora, since no one saw each other. So we're all suspicious? It's difficult to narrow down who is potentially suspicious on these claims alone. Let's calm down and think thoroughly. Finally, we move to the forced motive question. The question, along with the motivation music, was the right to push someone to commit a crime. We have to figure out what the question would have caused such distress. The fourth motive question. A small group of us talked about it briefly this morning over breakfast, but ultimately we couldn't figure out the purpose of the question. Why don't we discuss the purpose now that everyone is present? Purpose of the fourth motive question. Question was, are your talent a true representation of who you are? Who are you beyond your talent? What could it mean? I should pay attention to statements that might sound interesting. Alrighty. A question to provoke killing? It makes no sense. How could a simple question make us do something as extreme as end someone's life? This morning we speculated that sharing the history behind our talents would only create a greater bond between us. I am being inclined to agree with that conclusion, and only makes sense after all. It's also possible that it's a tactic used to instill distrust and cause discord. Purpose of the fourth motive question. Question was, are your talents a true representation of who you are? Who are you beyond your talent? What could it mean? More interesting. Oh, am I supposed to become people? Only makes sense. Still distrust. What do you mean by distrust, Ash? Let's say someone doesn't want to talk about their talent, despite the talent being something that's highly laddered. If someone wouldn't want to talk about such an amusing topic, the resistance should be suspicious, right? But just because someone's talent is public knowledge doesn't necessarily mean the individual's life and practice behind it should be public as well. Ash, you kept your talent unknown to me for whatever reason. Are you saying you want me to believe you're suspicious? Of course not. How could you even say that? Did you ask someone about the fourth motive question and not get an answer? No, I just didn't want to bother anyone with such a potentially loaded question. Is my true talent a true representation of who I am? Never thought about my talent as a representation of me. It was simply a hobby that spiraled into something incredulous. I never would have thought racing would lead me to end up in such a strange mess. Sorry to press you so hard, Ash. Ari asked me if I knew anything about your talent and I couldn't properly answer him. That said, I think this conversation eventually proved your point, that it could cause discord. There's contention even between us. And that's alright. I'm sorry if I keeping it a secret hurt you, Echo. I didn't mean to tie you up in such complications. It's not so complicated. You're my friend. If anything hurts, it's the fact that I burdened you with this topic. Well, that's the purpose of discussion, isn't it? To bring ideas and theories to light? I don't suppose I just performed an example of the question causing such an altercation. Consent. Oh, wasn't that something? Best friends reconciling their differences for the sake of proving a point? I suppose every discussion has to start somewhere. Okay, as you were. Right, thank you for your bookend, Zero. In that case, what if the question posed was meant to make us look at ultimate students' talents as an ends justifies the means product? A means justifies served with what? The end justifies the means. A saying in which a result is deemed so important that any method, morally good or bad, may be used to achieve it. In that case, I believe what Echo was saying is regardless how someone achieved such advanced talent or what the person is like behind it is meaningless in the grand scheme of having an ultimate title. After all, didn't we all sign up for the preservation project knowing full well that we need to bear an ultimate title? Ultimate title, a precariously viable title someone receives for super excelling in their field of expertise. But what does this possibly have to do with Pandora getting killed? There's no way anyone was jealous of her talent or something, was there? I really want to echo. We were all strangers before we met in this scary place anyway. I fully want to believe we all got along well with her. We all got along with each other, in fact. Without the killing game pressure, I don't see how anyone could possibly harbor any ill will. Nah, someone gotta hate her. What? What? I'm bored. You aren't talking about anything interesting, so I thought I'd throw you all a bone to get the ball rolling a little faster. Not one single person is going to be loved by everyone. It's not possible. How could you say that? She did nothing but show kindness and warmth towards everyone. Pandora only ever wanted to share good food with good friends. Yeah, she always worked tirelessly to bring us together with her delicacies. Blah. Oh, good show, everyone. You're all such great actors. I guess it's been fun watching, but the discussion isn't really going anywhere. Oh ho? I'll just put an end to this now. This case, this trial, it's all an elaborate ARG scheme. Lyle? It's all an act. The reason why there's so few clues is just a way to save resources. Imagine if the folks setting up the game had to use a bunch of fake blood to create the scene. But I suppose for the sake of entertainment, such systems exist to waste resources. Wow, what are you talking about? Pandora isn't dead, she can't be. Nothing adds up. But I suppose if you want me to keep playing, I'll say this. Let's talk about who was on the scene first. If I recall correctly, it was Echo, wasn't it? Yeah, I saw Pandora's body first, and I called for help with Cyrus and Kanan right shortly after. Okay, easy. Culprit is one of you three. What? On what grounds do you think you could speculate that? Pandora's supposed time of death was 4:05, right? I'll set the scene, which is mind your business in the mansion, not knowing what's to come. Some nasty music starts playing. One of you three starts getting stressed out, so you strangle the first person you see. How else could we narrow down the culprit? It has to be someone who was near the scene after 4 p.m. That person couldn't have gone far after escaping the crime scene. In my opinion, the motivation to kill a lot of stress from body is kind of a shoddy writing, but at least it was an attempt. Lyle keeps going on about the killing game being an ARG, but her death seems so real. Huh, wait, doesn't that mean everyone's alibis from earlier doesn't amount to anything? Bingo. I believe you all discussed your whereabouts up to approximately 3 p.m. latest, but no one said anything from then to 4 p.m. when the music started. The critical moment to consider is the time just before the murder occurred, obviously. If someone offered Pandora via accused strangulation and made their getaway, it's not likely the culprit would have gotten far from then and when Echo supposedly discovered the body. So with the window of action narrowed between 4 and 4:05, does anyone care to share their newly updated whereabouts? Where we were all in the approximate time, around 4 p.m. leading up to the motivational music. If we follow through with Lyle's speculation, we might glean some information that will help us. Art was hanging out with Lyle. I went to the atrium. The music was blasting in there. You should join me in the theater after the music started. Thought Forte and I could go backstage and control the sound system, but our attempts were futile. I was in my room, still hiding under the covers. I told you I was in the foyer leading up to the music. It was noisy, sure, but nothing I couldn't deal with. I was in the jazz club. So Echo earlier as well, I was in this climbing center and saw no one suspicious dart past the open door. Like Sai, I was in my room too. I mean, they're all suspicious. I don't know what to say. Atrium. You're in the atrium. Here. Let's ask him. Jazz club. Wait a minute, Lyle. I know for a fact that the jazz club is soundproof. That's right. When I attempted to play the cello yesterday, you and Cyrus were just outside the jazz club in the hallway. Neither of you seemed to have any reaction when it came out shortly after. I mean, it's possible that Lyle is exempt from hearing the motivational music. Oh. Does it? I suppose you're onto something. I admit, I don't even know what the motivational music sounds like, but... But nothing, that's an awfully precarious situation you put yourself in, Lyle. Sure, it's odd, but what's stranger still is how did Lyle know about the motivational music if he's never heard it? The kiosk. Remember, they translate sound to text, but this time I only saw a message. It said something like, preserving the atmosphere of the room. Preserving the atmosphere of the room. 0. What's up? You're the judge of this trial, but you're also the announcement operator outside those walls. I think you can assist us with something clerical like this? Can you tell us what the kiosk message said in Pacific? Your current room is a special room that blocks all outside sound to preserve the atmosphere of the room. Please enjoy to your heart's content. I didn't write that, by the way. So you're saying we could have avoided the noise entirely? Isn't that too convenient? Wait a minute. In that case, what if Lyle was the one who killed Pandora? What? Didn't I just say it was the music that would have provoked someone to kill her? I was in the jazz club. I couldn't even hear the music, therefore I wouldn't have felt the motivation to move. No, you could have killed her in the jazz club and moved her body to the spa lounge. Nah, there's no way. That would explain the lack of clues in the spa lounge. This is troublesome. Did any of us investigate the jazz club afterwards? No, I was so shocked from seeing the body I didn't even think about looking elsewhere. I think we were all just as astonished as soon as we heard the body discovery chime. So perhaps Lyle counted on that fact and did in fact kill her in the jazz club. Doesn't even have an alibi for a large portion of the afternoon anyway. Saying something like scouring the mansion for clues, could have spent the whole day unsupervised plotting the terrible thing that ended Pandora's life. Hey, haven't you heard the phrase, extraordinary claims required extraordinary evidence? Well, that's not out of the question. After all, the ultimate puzzle maker could have said something elaborate. So elaborate the answer to this. Murder puzzle goes right over our head. That can't be possible. I was in the climbing center, which is between the spa lounge and the jazz club. While I committed the climbing of the jazz lounge, I would have plainly witnessed the change of the scene. We had very well constructed that alibi to assist Lyle in his dark activity. Now why on earth would I lie about such a thing? Settle down. Yelling at each other with hypotheticals isn't getting us anywhere. Agreed. If it will quell Sai and Forte's worries, let's tackle their initial theory and go from there. Sai and Forte are wrapped up in the discussion. Is it worth discussing? I really don't think so. Because you've really seen him. Yeah, and it takes a lot of work to move the body, especially when it is moved. But I would say that. I feel like a monster piece of speech. Sai, Forte, please calm down. There's no way Lyle could have killed her and then moved the body. What? That's because someone would have seen him do it. Yes, I would have seen Lyle move the body if that were the case. But remember, I left the climbing building center's door open? The climbing center is located between the spa lounge and the jazz club. Okay, the jazz club, spa lounge. The atrium is right here. Oh, the atrium is right next to the spa lounge. Oh, shoot. According to the time of killing, the music would have been playing, and by then I was no longer climbing. Now that didn't distracting me. Alright, perhaps I'll accept your admission of truth. Seeing as the possibility of Lyle moving the body is unfounded, where do we stand now? Oh my stars, you're also bad at this. What? I'll tell you all for certain that nothing happened in the jazz club. Huh? I'm telling you all this because you're just awful at this whole trial thing. Ha. Geez, I guess this is what happens when there's no ultimate detective around, huh? And your ultimate photographer is so quiet. She's all but dropped dead at this point. If she did drop dead, you have to go around another trial, and I don't think I have the patience to watch you run in circles at this rate. Alright, since this is clearly not going anywhere, allow me to throw you a bone. There's something strange about the note in the spa pool, don't you think? Oh yes, of course. Lyle very conveniently managed to redirect the conversation from the piece of evidence on the scene. I'll let you all think for yourselves. The note. The note must have something to do with Pandora's murder, but what? I'm certain R and Lyle know something about it since Lyle brought it up with us, but... Hello? This is all the dead air. Don't want to talk anymore? You don't want everyone to die without giving the trial your best shot, do you? Like, are any of you even trying to save yourselves? Maybe I should stop giving you these opportunities. Ugh. The courtroom fell silent. It seems we all neglected the gravity of the situation, or rather, we were avoiding it. It's just, nothing felt real. Pandora's death, her body hardly showed any signs of injury. It looks like she was sleeping. It's as if we all wanted to forget the reality of the topic at hand, which was that someone had killed our friend. Kept dodging and darting around the main issue. Yes, as painful as it was, we must discuss the murder. It seems hopeless at the moment, but since we don't have much information to work with, but clues will reveal themselves as we bring about certain topics to light. So, don't hold your tongue, we must do this to save ourselves. Then, I'll start with our cause of death. From there, it's probably be easier to reason out potential culprits. According to the Monokuma file, it was strangulation. Can we identify what she was strangled with? We ought to touch upon the possibilities. It may be difficult to think about, but no one said such a fight would be easy. Here's what was Pandora strangled with. Is there something we're missing? I was thinking it might have been a rope from the climbing center. I don't know, strangulation marks look really small. So we're trying to think about, perhaps the culprit used their own hands. Look like hands. Let's narrow our thoughts and eliminate things that will be unlikely. We have to think about what in a spa lounge could have been used. Let's think about what in the spa lounge, because the rope, the marks would have been bigger, and the finger, if it was a hand, it would have looked like faded out finger marks on her neck. But it didn't look like that. It looked like it was really something small. So let's just use the stuff that's in the spa lounge. What in the spa lounge could have been used? You could consider the following. The climbing center and jazz club were occupied by one person each. Neither of the occupants saw anyone else during their stay. And the killing occurred soon after the 4 p.m. music, so it was likely the culprit could have only used whatever was available on the location. What, if anything, could be used? Think. What is a murder weapon? Yeah, the marks look really... they look really... They're light and small. Could it be? Echo, are you onto something? I think so. You brought up a good line of thought that made me rethink the scenario. I recall seeing something that might answer our question. Consent. I believe the culprit may have used a towel to strangle her. Towel. It's an unassuming object, isn't it? Of course, there are going to be towels in the spa lounge. The culprit took advantage of the location and utilized the tool available. The tool being the very towel she was resting her head on. Then they must have strangled her by wrapping the towel around her neck and pulling until she stopped struggling. Until she stopped struggling and breathing altogether. It would explain the lack of fingernails dug in, as well as explain why I didn't see anyone near the climbing center in the event the rope was used. Could just be a conjecture, but it's the best thing we have so far. There's something bothering me, if I may. What I don't get is, why was Pandora seemingly so relaxed in the spa? She was reclined, and there weren't any signs of a struggle in the whole room. There must have been the obnoxious music playing in the spa too, so I doubt she would have stayed. So she was killed before the music started, maybe. That's strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate on the climbing grips once it started. The music was so annoying. I didn't even know if I was playing until I was outside. More importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. Huh? Well, I guess that makes sense, and I threw the door open upon entering. Hang on, what? The lounge is soundproof? Oops, was that not common knowledge? Hold it, explain yourself. Does that have relevance to the trial? The spa lounge is soundproof. And the motivational music was playing throughout the rest of the mansion. Whoever was in the spa lounge with Pandora must have not been aware of the music. 0. I noticed in your kiosk message you didn't specify which room was soundproof. You simply said your current room is a special room, is that correct? I said I didn't write that. But yes, I guess it did say that, didn't it? Ah, fine. Yes, all second floor rooms are soundproof. Happy? Oh. All second floor rooms. In that case, wouldn't Pandora have been completely relaxed and unaware of the motivational music when it started at 4 p.m.? Wait, that's right. Okay then, that must have meant... Well, not the atrium, but it's more of a giant hall than the sounds. No closed doors or anything, you know? I wasn't aware. I left the climbing center doors open during my stay. So it's not just a jazz club. I probably assumed a jazz club alone was soundproof because people perform in there. Now that it's been revealed that Pandora was mainly in the spa lounge relaxed and completely unaware of the music, seemingly far before it even started playing in the first place. Could it have been art? Even when it did begin, she would have been undisturbed by it due to the soundproof quality of the spa lounge. Just a minute. That means the motivational music had nothing to do with provoking someone to kill her. What? Echo. You have an idea of what provoked the person, don't you? You had this look on your face since this afternoon. It's the note, isn't it? You've seen it before. In fact, you saw it before I brought it up with you and Art. Finally talking about the note. Yes, I've seen it before. Pandora herself showed it to me last night. Pandora? But how did she see it? Lyle said it was an announcement special gift from this morning. I lied about that. There was no special gift. If someone did show up, I was just going to call them a chump personally. I'm actually also perplexed as to where that came from. Although maybe I shouldn't complain. The note has made things very interesting. Oh, so it wasn't part of that note. Was it this note you're all talking about? Remember that scrap of paper we saw in the pool? Yeah, it was soaked beyond legibility. And that's the note we're talking about, namely, a note to be kept in secrecy. Remember it said, if you recognize one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me and are safe. Please do not speak of this note's existence. Trust no one but yourself. It had 2 emblems on it, and as the note references, and I saw one of those emblems on that shred of paper, wet paper in the spa pool. Pandora was in possession of such a dangerous, suspicious thing. Culprit must have saw that she had the note on hand and threw it in the pool to soak and destroy it. They were probably afraid of the ramifications of protecting the recipient and what effect it could have had on the rest of us in the killing game. They probably thought whoever was in possession of the note must be linked to the game itself. Then wouldn't the culprit be the one of the few who knew of the note's existence? That's right, she reacted when Zero first mentioned it. Sigh. You reacted when Zero mentioned the note earlier. Have you seen the note before? I've never seen it. I see. How could that be? Lyle said he saw Sai go into the pantry, and after she left, he saw the note. Before this trial, the only ones who could have seen it were Sai, Lyle, Echo, and me, right? If the atrium special gift was a lie, then what's with the secret note being in the pantry earlier this afternoon? I imagine Pandora herself must have left it there, seeing as she was utilizing the ingredients from the pantry to make breakfast this morning. She just left it there? Then why is there a similar note in the spa pool? She couldn't have left that for possession if it's supposedly a note to be kept in secrecy. Wait a minute, then are there 2 notes? But we still don't know where those notes came from in the first place. None of these random details are making any sense. I'm also having a hard time sorting out relevant information. Indeed, it's becoming difficult to define what is truth, what happened when, and why things are as they are. Can't we try to lay down a timeline of events? That could clear our heads and straighten things out, if anything. Timeline of events. Yes, I think it could help. I noticed a handful of the discrepancies that could use clearing up. Perhaps I ought to tuck the event back to last night when Pandora showed me the secret note. The note seems to be the biggest complication. She pulled me aside at... It was at 9, before the bell rang. No? Oh, I thought it was saying like... Oh, okay. I have overmemory. It was 10 p.m. Remember the lights started to dim during our conversation, indicating the start of nighttime. Following morning, which was earlier today, we assumed Pandora must have been up earlier than everyone else and began to prepare breakfast for us. A small group of us was conversed about the forced motive question, which rang in at... was it 9? That's right. The forced motive question announcement rang in at 9 a.m. We briefly touched on the said topic, but ultimately didn't feel any motivation to conduct any sort of killing, likely to the charging of the announcement. Afterwards, I had planned to go back to my room, but Art stopped me and we went around asking other students about the question. We were occupied with asking around until 3 p.m. 3. Yes, that's it. Just before 3, Art and I ran into Lyle as he was going to his room. We talked to him a little bit about the question, but he had little to say about the matter. During our conversation, he brought up to our attention the secret note, the same secret note Pandora had seen the night before. Lyle claimed that someone had left the note in the pantry. That's right. The person who was last in the pantry before him was Sai. That's right. Lyle claims he saw Sai scurry from the second floor atrium to the pantry and back out again. After Lyle showed us the disarmed door and the secret note, Art and Lyle went off on their own and I went to the study at 3 p.m. While I was in the study, another announcement rang in and started playing some type of jarring motivational music and once again attempted to start the killing. It began at 4. That's right. Recall the announcer saying the time. Ran out of the study in the panic, trying to find any other of the students. When the atrium, I saw a shadowy figure at the top of the stairs. I followed them, but lost track of them, which instead led me to discover Pandora's body. Yeah, you never mentioned that shadowy figure. If only I was able to keep up with the shadowy figure, perhaps this trial would have been over sooner. But it's strange, it couldn't seem to add anything up despite how much we knew. Or rather, perhaps there was some other perceived force factored in that contributed to Pandora getting killed. It had to be something. I felt an uneasy anticipation tugging at me, something willing me to continue the pursuit of whatever force caused this mess. I had to try. Discovering the truth was more difficult than I thought, but Pandora would tell me not to give up. I had to try to narrow down where this strange factor's weak points are. I thought about the scenario from the starting point of when the note was revealed, since it was a topic of contention. Perhaps I had to think backwards from Pandora's death to see if there were any other holes. Pandora was killed in the spa lounge. It's true. Yes, there weren't any signs of her body being moved. But before she was killed, what was Pandora speculated to stay in the spa lounge? She was relaxed. We're able to assume she was locked in the spa lounge because the lounge is soundproof. We learned that the spa lounge has soundproof qualities. If Pandora was in there with the door closed, she would have likely not have been disturbed. Wait a minute. When I first entered the spa lounge, I was initially under the impression that there was more motivational music playing within. Little did I know it was only playing because I had thrown the door open, ruining the soundproof quality of the room. However, someone noted that they were unaware of the music until they moved from one area to the next. The fact is, the Climate Center and the Jazz Club were already occupied and neither Cyrus nor Lyle claimed they were in with the company. This person could have left the only remaining room that shared the soundproof quality of the other two. Why was Pandora suddenly so relaxed in the spa? She was inquiring if there were any signs of a struggle in the whole room. There must have been the obnoxious music playing in the spa too, so I doubt she would have stayed. That's strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate on the climbing grips once it started. The atrium outside. More importantly, Echo, did you box your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. There it is. Who was behind the spa lounge and motivational music discrepancy? Oh. I keep thinking Art, but I'm not sure. Let's save this just in case I get this wrong. I'll never be too safe with this. I keep thinking that it's Art because he was in the only other room that's left. Why do we have Zero as a culprit? I mean, he could have killed. He could. It's all really disappointing to Art, to be honest. I'm sorry, Art. I really don't want to believe it's you. Who knows, might have guessed the wrong person. By making a remark of the change between locations, the culprit could have only been in the spa lounge before the motivational music. By that logic, the culprit must have shared a room with the victim. Art must have been in the spa lounge with Pandora before she died. Everyone, I think I have the full picture. Who was with you? You were totally spaced out for a second. Be quiet, you. Oh, yes, ma'am. Echo, was there something we were missing? Yeah, I think something might have slipped right under us. We've been looking at this under the guise that the motivational music had everything to do with the murder. However, there is a discrepancy in that linking. Pandora was never exposed to it, yet she wound up victim to the effects of it. As you discussed and discovered, all second floor rooms are soundproof from outside noise when the door is closed. Case in point, Cyrus leaving the Climate Center doors open and Lyle undisturbed in the jazz club. But then I noticed, someone said something strange. They mentioned they weren't aware of the music either, that is until they exited the presumably soundproof room. Neither Cyrus nor Lyle ever encountered anyone during their stay. So by process of elimination, the only room this person could have exited would be the spa lounge. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, but I think I know who the culprit is. Art? Art, did you kill Pandora? Art? What? Hang on. That can't be. Please yield. Echo's thought of yours. It's awfully bold of you to point the figure at someone so conclusively. Well, it's only a shred of an idea, but it's the only piece that fits. We put the timeline together beginning from when Art and I separated at the gym. It's not unreasonable to assume that this crime was conducted during a smaller window after Art and Lyle separated and before the motivational music. It's been stated several times that Lyle... What? Oh my gosh, you skipped over. We're just going to listen to that tiny, impossible statement. Art, say something. Don't let them tell you what's what. It's nonsense. What? In fact, he was with me in the jazz club until 4 p.m. Yeah, isn't that right? Lyle, you must know that we are beyond the veil of smoke and mirrors at this point. What are you implying? It's far too late for you to defend him. If you two were together, it would have been mentioned ages ago. The shadow I saw at the top of the stairs must have been Art playing the spa lounge towards the atrium. Must have known there was distressing music playing outside the spa. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let slip that he knows the shift in music when he left the spa, when he was leaving the spa after the fight. Ugh. Wow, please. Think about the events in your head. As much as I hate to admit it, there's only one answer I can think of. Even though this is all speculative, and I want nothing more than to not believe it, this is the only animation I have. Alright, we're your friends, aren't we? Please, if you're wrong, just tell us we're wrong. If it's all untrue, we can put this as a backup behind us. Echo, do you remember what I told you when we asked me about the forced motive question? Yeah? I recall you said you like playing golf, but you haven't expanded your interests outside of golfing. Yeah, because they would never let me. It's a terrible existence being the ultimate golfer for them. All day, I stand around the sun listening to jerks pitch false interests and crummy business ideas to each other. I'm not playing golf, I'm just there to look good while suits are off playing corporate deception and back scratching. They made me hate golf. To that motive question, it made me think about what I was doing. I wasn't having fun anymore, you know? Even though I'm great at it, I'm the ultimate golfer. Even if that's the case, I don't feel like me anymore. It's weird. I've had more fun here, hanging out with everyone, not indulging my talent, even though it's the thing that landed me here in the first place. I keep thinking about that. I keep thinking about FMQ, about how I hate this part of me that blessed me with an opportunity to hang out with all of you fun people. Before I knew it, I wandered into the spa lounge for some peace and quiet. I thought no one was in there. But Pandora was there, quiet as a mouse. I didn't even notice her until I sat right next to her. She was so nice. Good afternoon, Art. Care to join me? Sure thing. Are you alright? I didn't scare you, did I? Oh, no. I just, didn't notice when you came in. You know how it is. Head is somewhere else and all. I see. Alright, may I ask something? What's up? I believe I heard you influence a merger between yours and Lyle's school. Am I correct? Yeah, that was a while ago. That's such an amazing accomplishment. I can only wish to achieve something half as grand as that. That was nothing. I hardly remember it. If you insist, it's nothing to sneeze at, either. I'm sure the students at both schools would have benefited greatly from the feat. Yeah, probably, but I wouldn't know. I only went to school for a year before I was pulled out to focus on golfing. I have a private tutor to cover the difference. Oh, that's quite a generous offers. Let's skip that. I don't know if that's a big deal. I have faith in you, Art. In fact, I believe all of us have the ability to induce beneficial change like that, if we're given the opportunity. Ultimate students, we have the power of passion and influence in our hands, just like them. Hope we all use it for the good of the future. I know we will. Yes, at last, I finally found them. Them. I didn't know what to say. Power of passion, influencing change isn't as rosy as she chalks it up to be. The only thing that my talent ever got me was trapped. I used to golf all the time with my grandfather before he passed away. After that, I was taken in by some company who would take care of me. 3 square meals a day and a comfortable place to live. I always played perfect games, perfect but boring, day in and day out. It was the same thing. I thought I was there to show my skill, but every game was just an outside business conference. Eventually, I honed my skills enough to hit a hole-in-one no matter what. I played short games no one would ever care to watch. I ace it and they love it. I whiff it and they eat it up. At that point, they didn't care what I did. Using my talent for the good of the future? What about my future? I didn't want to stay with that group for the rest of my life. I thought escaping to the reservation project would finally free me from that imprisonment. Where everything's all messed up. When Pandora closed her eyes, I felt a burning. She said she found them. Who was she talking about? It was obvious, right? I didn't know what to say. I just took the note she had and threw it in the pool. I wanted it to go away. Then, everything happened in slow motion. It was like my body had moved on its own. My head was ringing, my hands narrowed onto the towel on her shoulder, and... oh, it was a towel. It doesn't look like a towel, though. Everything was red. It was like there was a fire in my head. When I heard her gasp, my arms were tense, and eventually... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lyle. I was just trying to have fun with you earlier. Huh? My good-for-nothing talent made me despise golf. I never had fun with it since people discovered they could use me for their business deals. Running around with you figuring out big puzzles was the most genuine fun I had in a while. Thanks, Lyle. What? No way. No. This isn't real. You're just part of the fake game, right? You didn't kill anyone. You're an actor. Tell me you're an actor and the whole story was fake. Art, tell me this isn't real. Oh, it's real, alright. It was miserable. Like all of us, Lyle was struggling to come to terms with the fact that Art, of all people... Lyle? Is this the truth? We have a shred of evidence to go with a confession. I don't know if I can point out a culprit based on such little proof. Missy, you want to keep discussing even after his piteous confession? I'm able to have my doubts, am I not? I can't accept it, and I'm sure the rest of you are also having trouble just the same. Doubting is the only thing keeping me from fully realizing the weight of a lofty, impossible-to-swallow truth. If I can doubt, I can still cling to the possibility of Art not committing such a horrible crime. Missy, you're deluding yourself with false hope. Just like the unfortunately misguided Lyle, such thinking is unsustainable. There is no need for doubt. Kanan? I have definite proof. Oh. Kanan! It was small, but it was unmistakable. Art was sitting at the base of the atrium centerpiece globe with his head in his hands. The photo looked to be shot from the second floor entryway. That means the shadowy figure I saw was... that was me, following Art as he fled from the spa lounge. Huh? I was in the fourth year, remember? So when I saw Art emerge from the spa lounge, I went to tail him, following him as far as the entrance to the atrium. Then I heard you shout for help, and I did about a face. Little did I know I would stumble upon the very thing he was running from. What the heck is this? Kananshiro is a weird photographer. So, does that settle your doubt, Missy? I don't know why you shouldn't say this earlier, but okay. But why wait to reveal such damning evidence? You think I want his blood in my hands? If I presented this photograph, you know the culprit for certain, thanks to me. Because I'm always unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the right time. I don't want to bear that weight on my conscience. I know it's selfish, but take it or leave it. Then, I suppose it's settled. You can agree that this is unquestionably the truth. There is no room for doubt. Seems you all come to a consensus. In that case, it's voting time. This is the final phase of the class trial. Vote for who you think is the culprit. After all that jabbering, you better have a solid answer. Don't let any of that sentimental doubt or faith or whatever keep you from saving yourselves. It's voting time. Well, I mean, it's obviously Art. Oh, I didn't want it to be Art. I'm sorry, Art. I mean, I could just click on it, right? The pressure of it all just get to him? Like... Guilty. And we have a winner! The culprit responsible for the murder of Pandora Spare is none other than the ultimate golfer, Arturo Campopino. Oof, took you long enough. Just try to do better next time, alright? But for now, it's time for the grand finale. You reach your exciting destination at the end of your first class trial. That destination being punishment time. What exactly is the punishment? Class trial adjourned. Punishment time? Oh yeah, eye for an eye, right? He was caught, too bad. Recap Rule 5. To expedite the process towards the ultimate prize, one must kill a fellow student without getting caught. But what happens when they do get caught? Recap trial rules. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of the group decision. It's bizarre. If it weren't for Echo's conveniently specific memory and Kanon's terrible luck pulling her to witness him, Art might have gotten away with it. Do you have anything to say for yourself, Art Campopino? This is what the Preservation Project wanted, isn't it? Kill and live on to prove your strength above other ultimates. What? You think we're going to live on? Whoops. Clearly don't have the emotional constitution to carry the people's future. What? No. You let your fears and anxieties eat at you until you're broken. Stop. Why? I'm shocked Pandora didn't live. Please. She lost to you. A weak, vulnerable, pathetic. I couldn't bear to hear anymore. That's enough. A silvery voice rose from somewhere in the room. That voice, it was the other announcer. The voice that welcomed us to this place was here? Zero, stop this at once. Oh, you. I believe I got rid of you, but you still came back. So weird. See what I did there, Eve? Eve? These students revealed the culprit. Was that enough? Sufficiently entertaining enough for you? Yeah, they sure did their thing, but geez, it'd take a while. Alright, fine. His face was just so rich with despair, I just couldn't help it. It was fun for you too, right? Stop this. Fine. I'll get on with it. Goodbye, Arturo Campopino, the ultimate golfer. Your execution awaits, and so it goes. Zero's holographic warped out, and a huge rumbling sound tore through the room. Something was coming. courtroom floor rumbled beneath us. One of the trial grounds walls slid open, revealing a dark pit beyond the walls. From within, the golf cart came shrieking out, drifting and circling our stands to stop squarely behind ours. Mechanized arms swept Arps off his feet, pulling him into the cart that had hardly stopped for a second before peeling back into the darkness that it came from. Art became sequestered from us. All we could do was watch him hard as his fate was projected on a screen in the middle of the trial grounds. Art was tossed unceremoniously into what appeared to be a sand bunker in the middle of a giant miniature golf course. In a daze, his rose coughing up stand and meeting the gaze of a Kish bear statue holding a raised driver. The bear twitched, its metal body groaned wearily as the arm shook to life. A swing tunneled through the air. Art gasped. Oh. Arturo Campino, Ultimate Golfer, Execution by Extreme Hazard. Extreme Hazard. Wahaha. That was worth the wait, I think. And it's funny. He hated golf, but little did he know all those business deals he sat in on. Those deals were the ones that brought in funding for the preservation project, the very thing he wanted to escape to. Wow. He thought he could fly away, but it turns out his influence was unescapable. Life sure is cruel, isn't it? It was horrifying. A disgusting display mocking Art's ultimate title ended his life. He hated his talent in his last moments since that was all he saw. We all stood completely and utterly shocked. No one said a word. No one moved a muscle. An unmistakable sinking feeling fills us over. Despair. In return for entertaining me, how about I answer one question that's been drilling into your minds? So, where are we? This isn't the preservation project at all, is it? Oh, I said one question only. Our beloved courtroom that resides in the Monokuma superstructure. Remember those earthquakes? Those aren't going to bother us thanks to civil engineering. The wonders of modern technology never ceases, huh? So cool. I hope that satisfied your curiosity. More certainly did not. You can't... Zero. That silvery voice spoke once more. You are a reaper of despair. Whatever you do ends in futility and brings no benefits to anyone. No benefit to anyone except you and your horrible... Chanfran? I don't know how to say that word. Do not think for a moment you've won. I will continue to fight back, even after what you've done to me. A sliver of light remains. Echo Pine. Huh? You received the title of Ultimate Memory. Oh, he has a good memory. Memory. Oh! What is that? We have a technician, a photographer, a silly puzzle maker. Good memory for their skills are required, wouldn't you think? I wouldn't even humor you with this one. Talent isn't even comparable to something remotely useful. Ultimate and analytic prowess like that one pathetic girl. Come on, you really give us what I'm trying, haven't you? It's no fun having any competition. Fine, you think that will give these people hope? Nope, your queen is in trouble. I have a little information neither you nor the students will like. Cyrus Surik is someone to be wary of. He isn't who he says he is. He is not an ultimate student like the rest of you. He is much more involved in this game than you think. Ultimate charisma is a terrible cover talent. That's not much of a talent. We're all truly clueless if you believe that. Zero, stop. You meddled enough now. What? And you haven't? I've been given this power for a reason, you know, and I'm going to use it as I please. This isn't the answer. Whatever courtroom is closed, these losers can marinate in despair for a night. Tomorrow we'll get it going again. Zero. Shut up, I'm tired of your poor, useless attempts at creating hope. You will never win. You're a failure. With that odd display, the two holograms cut out. What? What just happened? I was on the verge of tears. My whole body shook violently. Ugh. There was a weight at the bottom of my heart dragging my whole body down. I felt like my head was going to split. Becoming trapped in a strange luxury mansion where I seemingly didn't belong. Stuck with a group of revered students with a so-called ultimate talent. getting involved up in a class trial where we had to investigate someone killing someone else, including a gruesome execution, as if everything else wasn't enough. How is this happening? I want to go to bed for a long, long, long time. Before I knew it, my limp body dove to the floor and I kneeled over. My eyes closed wearily and I allowed myself to sink into the velvety darkness. Chapter 1 ends. 8 students remain. 8 students? Oh yeah, 2. There's 2 gone. And now we are in chapter 2. Alright, and that's today. It ends of today's video. So it seemed like something disastrous has happened to the outside world, in a sense. And I don't know, I'm so confused as to why this just happened. I feel like everyone else, I guess someone else will kill another person next. But like, I don't see the point of it all. Like, what if the ultimate prize, or if there's no ultimate prize and this is all just pointless? But we'll see as the story continues. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye!